Alright, our pan is just about ready for the meatballs to go in. All the liquid is trying to come to a very slow boil, but our pistachios have taken in some of the liquid from the honey and the lemon juice, and everything is warm and nice and married up and ready to go. Alright, so we're going to start taking these meatballs and putting them in to cook them. As always, you have to remember to click your tongs twice before you pick up anything.
That's activation, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Just going to place those in. And they only require one activation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I were to sit them back down, I would have to reactivate them.
Oh, okay. I got you.
That's how that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know those rules of the universe.
Well, if someone doesn't teach you, then you'll never know.
All right, guys. So we're gonna let these cook for a little while. Once we finish loading them in, and then we'll get back to you.
Right. Our meatballs are getting nice and brown. They're getting close to being done. They're firming up very nicely. When you're turning these things over, you've got to be really careful. They want to imprint all of these pistachios that you have in the bottom of it. And the pistachios want to imprint into your meat. And you really want to watch out for that because it's an inconsistency in your meatballs. You don't want people to bite into a meatball and get a great big crunch when they're expecting, just a piece of meat. So you want to watch out for that. And you're also going to use your pistachios to make a pan sauce that goes over these afterwards. So you don't want to cheat your sauce out a little bit later on. Alright, so now that these things are coming up about ready, there's a few different ways that you can check and see if they're ready or not. First and foremost, you can use a quick read thermometer, stick them in the center, check that out. Make sure everything's up to temp for the meat that you have used in it. Especially with poultry and everything, that can be a really big thing because you can make someone very sick from that. Next, the method that I like using mostly is checking the firmness of each meatball and seeing how springy it is and how not springy it is. The less springy it is, the more well done it is. When I was first putting these things in, if you were noticing, they were just about completely collapsing as I was putting them in under the weight of the tongs. Now these things are really getting really dense. I can't really crush that anymore without destroying the whole thing, and really putting some heft to it. So I would imagine this one's just about where I want it to be at. The third method you can use is also the poke test, where you take a fork, a bamboo skewer. I've even used a meat thermometer for this, which is counterintuitive but a lot quicker. And you just poke the center of the meatball to see what color juices come out. If you're seeing a little bit of red or pink, then it needs to cook more. If it's coming out clear, then you're okay. And either one of these three methods are really good for this because, the only other method that's 100% foolproof is taking and cutting your meatball in half to see if there's any pink in the middle. And we're making meatballs, not meatball halves. So that isn't really feasible for what we're doing. All right. That was a little springier.
All right, so we're going to get the next batch going, and then we'll get back to you.
Our meatballs are just about ready to come out. We already pulled the first batch and put them in, and these things are just about done. I found the biggest one in the batch and cut it in half and made 100% sure since we mixed in a ground poultry. Alright, so we're just going to take these out. And yes, I already did click my tongs to make sure that they work. Gotta activate them up.
Now, after we take these out, we're going to turn the heat up just a tad. And all that lovely broth that has been cooking is is going to turn into a really, really nice roux almost to serve with the meatballs.
Burn the heat up a little bit on this pan sauce, and we almost cooked it down into a really nice brown roux. I've been constantly stirring it. You do not want this sticking to the bottom of your pan or burning off. You want it constantly stirred just like you're working on a roux. And all that good stuff that's trying to burn onto the bottom, that's where all of your condensed flavors coming from. So keep it working. Keep it working. Get it this nice dark brown color. And then once you're satisfied with where it is, or your arm is about to fall off from stirring the pan,
I'd say that's about
yeah,
good.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Okay, so grab your pot holder and then just pour it right over top of your meatballs. Try and get coverage over everything. Get those pistachios down on there.
Now, on a sideboard or a side table or a hospitality table, we would keep the sauce separate because not everybody likes it. But in this case, since it's for us and for, video purposes, we decided just to go ahead and let them soak up all of that goodness.
Oh, man, that turned out beautiful. We got really good colors from green to brown with the pistachios. The sauce cooked into a wonderful brown color and really coated the meatballs. And once we get the lid on this thing, we'll give it a good shake, make sure that we've got perfect coverage over everything. And that is just beautiful.
That's... Your face is going to freeze like that. So listen, that was a wrap on the meat episode 2. We got a couple more coming for you. So yeah, good stuff. Hope you enjoyed the recipes as much as we enjoyed making them for you.
Oh, definitely.
And
we hope you enjoy sweet stuff.
Yeah, because that
might be episode 3.
That might be episode 3. Maybe some Russian icing. Maybe.
Russian icing.
All right, guys. Love you, and we'll see you in a little bit.